Good afternoon to all of you. I hope now I am audible properly. I was talking to the offline student, that's why mic was off. Now am I audible? Okay. So for Anthropology Enrichment 300 plus for the year 2027, we are basically having the offline and the online batch, and today we are starting with the most important unit, that is the unit 2.3 and the unit 2.4. The unit 2.3, you know already, it is related to the marriage, and 2.4 related to the family. See, earlier what was basic notion, either UPSC asking from the family or from the marriage, like in 1 year from the marriage or 1 year from the family. What happened is, in the year 2025, UPSC asked the question which was having a combination of marriage and family as well as culture at one point of time only. So therefore you need to know how to integrate that information and then how to use it. Okay, fine. So now, as you know already, first what we used to do is we are going to specify about the syllabus. So the unit 2.3 and the syllabus as given by the UPSC. So what I did is I basically divided the syllabus into the parts. The very first thing you should know, that whenever you are trying to simplify the things will simplify the process for you. So therefore, this is the syllabus given by UPSC, and that's how we are simplifying it. So the first part we are going to analyze is the definition and the universality. So in this part, we are going to add upon the other dimension. Then the second, the laws of marriage. There are the different laws given by the UPSC. So we don't need to add upon something. Again, the types of marriages, the function of marriages, marriage regulation and marriage payment. This is what UPSC had given. And this is going to become the basis for us to prepare the index. Now, the question arises, what is index and what is the usefulness of the index? Index is something that would help you for the quick revision. So, near to your exam, see, now you are having your notes. With this process of the classes, I would ask you to prepare the short notes. Now for the preparation of the test, you will revise through your short notes, but later on I am going to make you so much independent in terms of the quick learning, in terms of the recalling. Now onwards, like later on in the subsequent revision, you are going to revise through the index only. Like you are going to just see that in this unit I need to know the definition, so you would be just remembering that I was having the Edward Westermark definition. This was the definition. If you are not able to like recall it, you are going to open your short notes and going to see. So this is the basic plan. So that's how now onward you should also, like for the unit 2.4, I'm not providing this part wala thing. You are going to tell me that how many parts I should add upon. Okay, so you need to tell me what are the parts I need to add upon. Okay, fine. So now let's move forward. Now next part is the PYQs. So I'm adding upon the PYQs related to the unit 2.3. Here you can see what I'm doing is I am now providing you the PYQs based upon the parts, so that you will get to know which part is more important and what kind of questions are coming from which part. So this is going to be the best way. Like we are not going to add upon everything, we are going to separating them so that we will understand. See, do you remember the physics concept of or the sorry the basic concept of prism? the physics concept. Anji in the online, oh, you were not a science. Okay. Anji in the online, how many of you know about the prism experiment? So what is there in the prism? There is a there is a triangular transparent material, like maybe it's a metal, or maybe it's a glass, or maybe it's plastic, but that one which is transparent. So we are going to, like, there is light, white light is coming, we are putting the prism in front of the light, and then the light is refracting and we can find out the Vibgyor. So in this concept there is separation. So this process is called as dispersion of the light, where one light is separating into the various colors, each and every color having their certain wavelength, having their certain frequency. So why dispersion of light is important? Because in this dispersion of light we can understand each and every color's identity. They are carrying the identity, they are having their importance. In the same way, here I am asking you to use the concept dispersion of light, where one single unit giving us insights about different parts. Okay, so first part we were basically talking about marriage definition and universality. So there was one question being asked in the 1991, describe the problems of universal definition of marriage. Means they are not asking us that explain why marriage is universal, why marriage is not universal. This is asking for the problems that arises. Why problem arises? Because there is cultural differences. Why problem arises? Because there are requirement or the functions of the marriage, they are like find out in terms of variation. So that's what we are basically trying to find out. Now next is the laws of marriage. The laws of marriage, different parts. So here the first part is, how does taboo serve as a means of social control? So the first thing we are basically taking upon incest taboo. So the one question we find from what? From the incest taboo. Next, second question, incest taboo. Third question, incest taboo. And then next question in 1988, the institution of marriage, family, kinship. Now let me tell you, the 2025 question was having the similarities with this question. Here, this was a direct question in 2025, indirect question. Deliberately, I am not including 2025 question, you know already. Okay. Now, from this analysis, what you analyzed, incest taboo is more important. Now, what kind of thing we need to study for incest taboo? Either the theories, because in incest taboo we are having regulation, but then application. Why it is applied? So this is what we need to study. It is applied because it's a means of social control. So we are going to take upon the importance from this part. Now next, types of marriage. Different types they provided to us. Now read the question. Define marriage and describe the various types of marriage in the human society. Simple question, straightforward, and it was there in the 2014. Now next question, types of marriage. Where do you situate the live-in relationship within the institution of marriage? Now this question is something being asked in the 2013. It was not a direct question, it was indirect question. The reason, because see, live-in relationship earlier was in America. Then what happened is, there was a recent case of the live-in relationship. What was the recent case? We need to understand. In India, there are only two types of relationships are being granted. First is something which is related to the blood relation. Second is marital relation. So in a family, only there is a relationship of between a husband and wife which is not blood related. So now, for example, the wife is about to get operated in the hospital. So doctor, they are asking for the permission. Either they will ask for the blood related or the marital bond. So the person who's in the live-in relationship, they are not related with any blood relation, or they are also not related with the marital bond. So what happened is, there was one operation, and that operation was like need to be done on a urgent basis. So the doctor, they were not allowing the live-in partner to sign, and the boys and girl, they were living in the live-in relationship and they were separated from their family, means the family was not granting the permission. So then this case arises that could we provide the legality to the could we provide the legality to this? Fine. So that was like we are basically trying to find out the legality. So that's what we need to study here. Not only the legality, but we also need to study from this part different types of marriages. What kind of types of marriages? See, these are the normal types of marriages. We need to study the Hindu definition of the marriage, the 8 types of marriages in the Hindu tradition, and where we are specifying this live-in relationship first. Second, there is one more thing, and you all must have read about it. Quite possible you in this unit you were not studying about 8 types of Hindu marriages, but for sure you must be done with the laws of marriages in terms of like ways to acquire mates for tribals. And for the tribals there are instances of live-in relationship. There are instances where the groom is coming to the bride's home, living with her. If find the compatibility, then they are getting married. And if during this time period the women conceive, they need to get married. So these were the cases of what? We are situating the live-in relationship somewhere in our marriage system. Okay, next, describe the different form of marriages among the tribal people of India. Different mates, like ways to acquire the mates. So from this type of marriage, what you find out? You find out this is the part where I need to do the current affair. This is the part where I need to do the current affairs. So in today's time period, we need to understand the dimension, the same sex marriage. We need to understand the dimensions related to the live-in relationship, legality, or is it legal or it is not legal. See, in today's time period, we just wanted to show ourselves that we are open for everything. So we are allowing for live-in relationship. But the thing, okay, how many of you know that there was a Uttarakhand civil code? Okay, so there was some instances about the live-in relationship there. I mean, they said no, but in terms of what? Hanji in the online, you need to answer. Hanji, very good Shubham and very good Samiksha. It means you were the science student. Hanji, yes, tell me. What was there in the Uttarakhand civil code about live-in relation? Okay, they were also saying now you need to register your name with us, and then we are going to allow, but we are not legally allowing you. I mean, it's not illegal to be in the live-in relationship. If we find someone, we are not going to put them under the jail. This is what they said. Okay, so from this point of view, we are able to understand that here we need to add upon the current affair. Okay, next part. Function of the marriages. Define the marriage, describe its different form with the suitable example as prevalent among the tribal people of India. Point out the function of the marriage. So in this part, we need to write down the function of the marriage along with the different ways to acquire mates among the tribal people. Next is the marriage regulation. Marriage regulation and alliance theory. Describe the different form of preferential marriages with suitable example and various form of preferential mating. So it means there are 2 types of like form: prescriptive, preferential. Here we need to add upon the preferential marriage more, so we need to give more emphasis there. Fine. So these were the part. Next, marriage payment. So in this marriage payment, majority of the question you will find out ways of acquiring the mates. Ways of acquiring the mates. So this is what we are having. Okay, so this is what we are having, and you basically got the views about it, that as per the unit 2.3, most important topic is about the marriage types where current affair is coming, so in the future we can expect more question. Second, the incest taboo, because incest taboo it usually be there in the news due to the Pakistan and that genetic defect and the genetic overload. Like we can consider genetic load means what? Negatively negative gene or unhealthy gene which consider as a load. Fine. And then the UPSC na they exhausted so much about ways of acquiring mates. Exhausted so much. So in the future we cannot expect much question from here. More question would be from this part, either from regulation or from the types. Fine. Okay, so we basically analyze the PYQs. Now heading toward the next part, unit 2.4. So for the unit 2.4 we need to analyze the part. Anji, explain or tell me. In the online also tell me fast. Anji, tell me fast. Divide it in terms of the part. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anji, tell me fast. Part 1, 2, 3, 4. First, what you need to do is family and its definition and its universality. In the second part, you need to write down the family, household, domestic group, the differences between these. Household and domestic group. So that's how you will analyze how to use. That's how you need to analyze how to understand the family, household, domestic group. I mean how to divide it in terms of an index. Next is function of family. Next is the type of family. Once we are done with the type of family, next part, the impact of the industrialization and the feminist movement. And here the value addition part. Here is the value addition part. Have you done? Okay. Moving forward, now again I had divided the parts and now let's find out the PYQs trend based upon the unit 2.4. See, from the first part, how many questions they had asked. We basically got an idea from the unit 2.3. UPSC not asking the question for the universality. Here UPSC is asking more questions. Why? Because there are factors, urbanization, there are factor, feminist movement, and these are current factor. And because of these current factor, we cannot say family based upon the definition is a universal family. Okay, fine. So here, first one, define the family and critically examine the universality of the family. The first part. Second, again, they just wanted to know, is it a universal association? Next, is family a universal social group? Next, universality of the family. So this is what they are trying to explain, and based upon that we can basically understand. Now next is the part 2, family, household, domestic group. In this part we are trying to understand, is family a social institution? Examine the family both as a social group and as an institution. So here there is a definition under the unit 2.2 social institution, and in the unit 2.2 social institution there is one point we are saying that there are two type of institution, primary and secondary. Primary one is the family, and based upon the family we are having others like we are having marriage, we are having divorce, or basic family system. Fine. Okay. Next, the function of family. So there is one question: function of family household indicating there in the recent changes. Can you see the pattern? Try to understand. As I have told you, in the year 2013, UPSC they has changed their way of the complete syllabus in the 2013, and then the anthropology syllabus was cut short, and then after 2013 anthropology was being considered as the most favorite optional for the UPSC, that they basically specified. Now what happened is, UPSC through this optional, they basically like asking very direct question. Then from 2013 till 2018, they exhausted all the simple questions and exhausted the complete material. Then what they started doing is, after 2018, they started taking the question from the previous year, and then they started providing. Means then every single person was saying, if you are done with the last 10-year question paper, you are done with the anthro. That was the basic approach. But in the year 2024, they changed that approach also. So can you see the pattern? 2013, 2018, 2023. After every 5 years, they are changing the pattern. Now they change the pattern again. Now what they are doing is, they are adding upon more application based question. These application based question, if you will find out, having similarities with some years, means it was not something which is new, and it was not something out of syllabus. That was only like, means you in a school dress, you in a party dress, or you in a comfortable dress. So that's how you are changing. So in the same way they are also changing. Okay, now what are the major function of the family? Next, indicate the recent changes that have taken place in its type and function with special reference to the India 1985. And now also they want us to explain about the changes due to the urbanization. During that time period there was no such changes. Now we are completely changing the things. Next, part for the type of family. Give a comparative account of different type of family in the tribes of India. Illustrate your answer with suitable examples. Next, give a comparative account of different types of family in tribal and non-tribal societies of India. So they want us to explain the families from tribal or non-tribal perspective. Next, impact of urbanization. Can you see majority of the questions are coming from this part? So this, no doubt this part is very important. Very important. Explain the impact of feminist movement. Discuss the impact of urbanization and feminist movement. Discuss the impact of urbanization and feminist movement. What do you understand by feminist movement? Critically comment on the forces and factors. See, it is being said that joint family is the exploitative unit for the women. It is being said that joint family system. Why? Because in the joint family system, women is considered as a service provider, and she will provide the service. Everyone expects that she will provide the service from the morning till the night, from the from the night till the morning. That's a kind of a circle, never ending circle. This is what they used to specify. Hanji. Then with this part, okay. Now, starting with the unit 2.3. So the very first thing we all need to know is, we so in this part, unit 2.3, for creating the So we have to do the 7 part. These are the 7 part we have to frame related to the unit 2.3. Okay, so the first thing that we have to cover up here is the marriage, the definition and universality. Okay, for the universality, the first thing that we have to cover up here is the introduction. Now this introduction is something related to the topic. It is not related to the answer, because for answer you have to frame the introduction as per the demand, maybe from the example, maybe from any definition or something. Once you are done with the introduction, second point, we should be having a separate meaning for the definition, meaning for the marriage, a simple meaning, why we are calling it a marriage. Then next part, definition. Next part in terms of a definition. Now after the definition, like for example here in the definition part, what we are going to do is we are having basically 4 basic definition. I'm going to provide you the name. So what we are going to do is going to mention here that we are having 4 definition. Now which definition we are going to remember and which one is more important, that's what you would be writing here, the Edward Westermark. Now we are done with the definition also. Now we are trying to check the universality. And how we will check the universality? Based upon the definition itself. So next, checking the universality. So when we are checking the universality, our focus would be to specify what are the reason for the existence of marriage. Means we are checking the universality. So there one question arises, why marriage exists and why it is important. So we'll try to find out reason for the existence of marriage. Now the reason for the existence of marriage, there are multiple reasons. So what we just need to mention them, that there are basic 2 reasons, biological and socio-culture, and among them we should know around 9 points, means 9 to 10 points. So you should have these 9 to 10 points handy. And the next part here we are doing is related to the marriage itself, why marriage is unique to the human being. Unique to human being. So there are going to be so many heading and subheading. Among this heading and subheading, we are going to extract around 10 to 15 bullet points. So if you will remember 10 to 15 bullets point, at least you would be able to see in a 15 marker question, humanly not possible, you would be able to write down 10 to 15 points. But if you will remember, at least you would be able to write down the best 7 to 8 points. And that's what required. So mentioning 10 to 15 points. And then going to end upon with the conclusion. Now, why this index important? This index is important because based upon this index, you can revise the complete unit and you know what are the things I am having. And let us suppose based upon this also you can compare that what are the kind of thing are not here in my notes. Okay, fine. So universality, there are around 7 points: introduction, meaning, definition, then universality, then reason for the existence of marriage, why marriage is unique to human being, and at last conclusion. Okay, so you are done with these things. Now next, moving forward to the next part. So the next part is related to the laws of marriage. Laws of marriage. So the basic thing you know already, that the first you should have introduction. Now there are different laws of marriage. So what we need to do is we need to take upon one law, and based upon that law we have to specify their explanation. So first we are just going to mention a simple meaning about and simple explanation about endogamy and exogamy. These are very simple, no need to add upon why people are doing endogamy. See, they are not having options. Let us suppose if you are living in the isolation in a closed island, so there is no option for you. Exogamy, why people are doing exogamy, we know. We just wanted to avoid the genetic defect, that's why. So there is no such point what are the reason for the prevalence of this, that. So simply endogamy and exogamy. Now next arises the fourth point, and the fourth point is related to the heterogamy. So the heterogamy, it involves the hypergamy and the hypogamy. There we are going to analyze. So heterogamy. So here going to take upon the first one, hypergamy. For the hypergamy, we are going to write down first the reason, second the consequence. I mean why hypergamy is there, first the reason and then the consequence. Okay, so what are the reason for the same? So you should be able to mention around 2 to 3 reasons and as well as the consequences. So going to write down here 3 reasons and consequences. Next going to mention here hypogamy. What are the reasons and what are the consequences? Okay, so that's what we are basically done with the point. Next part, which is very important one, that is incest taboo. Fifth one, incest taboo. And that's important topic, so going to put upon star here. So for the incest taboo subtopics, mention the introduction, mention the meaning, mention the definition, Okay, so for this we are going to take upon the definition given by the Sigmund Freud. And the theories related to this. So we are basically having 5 theories for the incest taboo. This is what we are going to explain. For each and every theory we are going to mark the criticism also, and then at last we are going to add upon the conclusion. So we are done with the universality, we are done with the laws. Next part is the types of marriages. So the first is going to be the introduction. Then there is no such thing that we in the types we are going to explain. So we would be taking one type and going to explain the subtypes under it. Like for example, we are taking upon the monogamy. So first we are going to write down the monogamy. For monogamy, we are basically having three. I mean, 3 types under monogamy. Then next, polygamy. So the polygamy is having different types. So in the polygamy, going to write down the polygyny, the polyandry, and the other form of marriages. So going to explain what are the reasons for them, types and the reason. So in the polygyny, sorry, polyandry, one is the polygyny. So in the polygyny, going to write down subheading types and then reasons, like why polygyny happening there. Next is the polyandry. So in the polyandry, again types and reasons. And then last, going to explain about the group marriages. Polygyny. Okay. You are talking about that. That's basically part of group marriage. Why? Because when I'm saying group marriage, that is going to be involved of multiple men, multiple women. Okay, so that's part of group marriage. Anji, in the online? Yes, that's part of the group marriage. Okay, so now next part is basically the functions of marriage. Okay, the first thing we are going to take upon here is introduction. See, the types of marriage, it involves current affair. This current affair will provide here as a value addition separately. So here I am not including. But as per the PYQ trend analysis, we got to know this part of this unit is open ended. Any type they can ask, any provision they can ask. Okay, fine. In the function wala part, main function we are going to add upon the 4 function, that is basically biological, economic, social and educational. So we'll be writing the functions and we are going to write down the 4 functions: biological, going to write down the sub part under them, then educational, economic, and social. See, you are having that approach: social, political, geographical. See, political function, what for a marriage, what kind of political function we will add upon? The politics, kitchen politics that happen in the families. That okay. And at last we are going to add upon the conclusion. Next, after the functions we are having marriage regulations. Introduction. Okay. Then there are different norms. First, we are specifying about the prescriptive norms. In the prescriptive norms, we are going to add upon the exogamy, and then we'll find out the reason for the presence of the exogamy as a prescriptive norms. We were not doing the reasons here because there is no such reason. But when we are having prescriptive form, then we are defining for a prescriptive form what kind of reason exogamy is being chosen. So that's why we here writing down the reasons. Okay, so prescriptive form, and for the prescriptive form we are writing reasons. Before the reason, write down the exogamy. For exogamy we are writing down the reason. And we basically had around 3 reasons, and we are also having advantages also. So the 3 reasons, they are provided by the anthropologist. So we are going to mention the name of anthropologist also. So specifically like E.B. Taylor. We are also having advantages. So 3 advantages. So that's what we are going to explain. Now next, third point. Under the prescriptive form, endogamy. So in the endogamy, this is what we are specifying: the reasons and the advantages. After the prescriptive form, we are having preferential form. So in the preferential form, we are going to add upon the 4 type of marriages, that is levirate, sororate, cross cousin, parallel cousin. This is what we are going to have for the preferential marriage. Other hypergamy, hypogamy, that could be written, but that's also part of the type, so we are not going to add upon here again. Fine. So at the end, conclusion. Done? Okay. The next part is about the marriage payment. The first, we are going to add upon the introduction. Then different types of the marriage payment. The first one is the bride price. Specifically going to add upon the examples. And these examples should be specific example. Then dowry. So going to explain the two types of the dowry, direct dowry and indirect dowry. So for this part of direct and indirect dowry, we are also going to add upon the negative impact that is prevalent in today's time period. Then the other parts like the bride service, gift exchange, etc. Then there is the value addition material. So as a part of the value addition material, we need to add upon first the ways of acquiring the mates. See, this is something based upon the PYQs we analyze that there are ways to acquire mates. Second, we just want to ask the like one question or one aspect: is the marriage really changing in the Indian society in its form? So, is marriage changing in the society? This is what we wanted to understand. Now, is it changing in its form? Is it changing in the process of mate selection? Is it changing in terms of the age? Is it changing in terms of the stability? See, there are various aspects. In terms of age also, now the marriage is changing. Earlier the marriages, they were happening in the age of 21 to 25. Now 25 to 30. Now marriages, they are happening after 30. See, whenever I'm saying now, I can uh, like remember one of the things said by the Rakhi Sawant. Do you know who's Rakhi Sawant? Hanji, in the online, no? So someone was asking कि अभी तो आपने शादी नहीं करी है. She said that अभी तो का मतलब क्या होता है? Said कि मैं क्या कब्र में चली गई हूँ कि अभी तो. She said that in the Hollywood, life is starting at the age of 40 to 50. After 40 to 50. He's saying in India सब करते हैं अभी तो अभी तो अभी तो. So that वो thing याद आ जाती है whenever I'm basically reading or studying about it. तो अभी का उनका ये scene है. उसके बाद we are also going to add upon here the live-in relationship. So the third aspect here, live-in relationship. The same-sex marriage. And we are then going to write down emerging new institution. Means nowadays you must have heard one syndrome, DINK, DINK. Have you heard? Hanji in the online. Anyone heard about the DINK? DINK. Double income, no kids. The young couples from Mumbai, Bangalore, now Delhi, and who's basically aspiring, they are saying, okay, so I hope you are aware of the verdict said by the Nikhil Kamath. Remember Nikhil Kamath? Okay, so Nikhil Kamath recently, like, he was part of a major discussion where he said that I don't want to spend 17 to 18 years of my life just to nurture another human being with this expectation that this human being will take care of me in my future when I'm going to be old one, when I need some sahara or something. So that's what he said, that why child are important, why people they need child. This is what he said. And from there we can, like, this syndrome was not because of him, this syndrome was there, but he highlighted the movement. So these are the new institution. Another institution, living apart. Living apart means, one is people they are not getting married but they are living together. But another concept, people are getting married but they are living apart. This is another concept. So these emerging new institutions we are going to study under this part. Okay, and at last, a healthy, happy conclusion, and we are done with this part. Okay, see, I'm not going to put much emphasis here in this part. Kindly do not expect that I'm going to explain or tell you how that triangle or circular form would be there. I'm going to provide you this. Fine. And let us suppose if someone who's not very much confident about any of the point, who's having any doubt regarding any aspect, exogamy, endogamy, preferential, what is levirate, sororate, see, you can ask me separately. From the last 2 days there was some sort of like in terms of schedule and everything, there was some sort of things were happening. So today, if you are not able to understand any aspect, anything, today and tomorrow related to this unit, because today you are going to study, tomorrow the day is also free, that is for your revision. So you can text me anytime related to any topic. Fine. Okay, now let's move forward. This is what, again, our way of doing the thing to simplify the things. Okay, so this is what we are having. Every single person who's related to the batch, they must be having access for the separate WhatsApp channel. If you are not having access, then just text me, I will provide you the same. Now on in that WhatsApp channel I will share this picture. Okay, I think the channel is not supporting to share the file. As the Telegram will restore, I will create a channel on the Telegram, because that is much more comfortable to do. But there, till that time, I will be providing this image. This PDF you will get in the portal. Okay, fine. Now, first, Edward Westermark. Again, I was saying this name again and again. Okay, so he was the one who gave the book History of Human Marriage, and he was the one who specified the definition of marriage. He basically said that marriage means what? A socially approved sexual union. He said that marriage legitimizes the offspring and creates rights and duties. So, can I mention his name when I'm explaining about the functions of marriage? I can also use his explanation in terms of introduction when I have to explain marriage and family. So in the 2025, as I told you, there was a question which includes marriage and family. So this is what we can mention. Why? Because it's also talking about the offspring. It's also explaining about the rights and duties. So what you need to do, you need to just write down that it could be used for a basic meaning, for functions. So you can mention it in the topic of functions also. You can also mention it in the criticism of any of the incest taboo, like family disruption theory, where you can mention it. Fine. Next, D.N. Mazumdar, T.N. Madan. So D.N. Mazumdar, T.N. Madan, Indologists related to the paper 2, but there they mentioned about the marriage. They said that in the Indian anthropology, marriage is a socially sanctioned union between male and female. And this is the one which basically established the family. Why? Because when you are establishing family, what you are doing is you are providing legitimacy to the children. Why? For example, if someone is asking whose child you are just going to quote the name of your father. And why the person is your father? Because the father and mother, they came in a union, marriage, and then they give birth to you. So that's what we can explain. Now, next, J.P. Murdoch. See, the second name after Edward Westermarck is the J.P. Murdoch. He gave the book Social Structure. So remember the name of History of Human Marriage, Social Structure. In his book, he specified the 3 universal functions. So whenever you are explaining function, start with his definition and mention the 3 part he was saying. He said that sexual, economic, reproductive, these are the 3 universal functions. So because marriage is providing sexual gratification, marriage is ensuring that both the parents, they are responsible for sharing the money or the money resources as well as provided to their children. Reproduction means what? They are liable to give birth. Why it is important? See, nowadays there was one news which was arising that replacement rate is 2.1, and now he kind of we can basically set the reproductive rate among the female reduced from 2.1. Means now the couples, they either not giving birth to their child, or if they are giving, they would like to have only one single child. Next, B. Malinowski. So B. Malinowski, he again, I told you, whenever you have to explain any function, mention B. Malinowski if you are not able to remember other name. So B. Malinowski, he mentioned that marriage exists because it satisfies the human need. What are the main function? Reproduction, child care, social stability. These are the things. Next is the A.R. Radcliffe Brown. Marriage contributes to the maintenance of the social structure. He mentioned that it creates social relationship. He mentioned that it links the kinship group and it maintains the social order. These are the things that we are having related to the marriage. So as per the A.R. Radcliffe Brown, they mentioned that marriage contributes to the maintenance of the social structure. Next, Claude Lévi-Strauss, elementary structure of kinship, related to the kinship. But he also said that marriage is not mainly about reproduction. It is important because we have to maintain a system of exchange. If we are not having child, then we cannot expect that we can have further upcoming alliances. So to maintain the alliances, you also need to give birth. For example, you are only giving birth to the boy's child and you are killing the female child. In future, you cannot expect that you would be having any exchange. This is what he said. And for the continuation, like you would find out that marriage is a permanent habitation, permanent agreement. There you can mention this alliance theory. Like why it is important? Cross cousin marriage. The base for the cross cousin marriage is only in terms of exchange. We are giving our daughter to you. You also need to give your daughter to us. Next, L.H. Morgan. So L.H. Morgan specified marriage involved through the stages. And these are the 5 stages he specified. Means earlier people, they were just having the promiscuity. Means they were living together. Then they started having group marriage. Means now they started specifying the mates. Means you are the one who's having my mate. I mean, you are the one who's having the responsibility regarding being my mate. Next, polyandry. Then polygyny. And at last, now we are having monogamy. And that's what we are specifying. Then there is J.F. McCann. So J.F. McCann, he said that female infanticide cause shortage of women. Tribes capture women from the other group. So what you need to do? Need to mention his name when you are mentioning the ways to acquire the marriage. Mates among tribes. Remember in the PYQ there was one question, explain the different form of marriages among the among the these people, tribals. Okay, next there was Johann Beckhofen, Bachofen. He basically provided the book Mother Right, where he said earlier societies they were matriarchal, descent was also traced through the women. Very important, because matriarchal system, the system changing, this thing is basically being taken, like we can take it from here. Fine. Okay, next, Frederick Engels. Frederick Engels gave the book The Origin of Family, Private Property and the State. Very important. In 2025 question as introduction you can use it, because that question was related to the marriage, family, kinship all at one place. Means he was asking about the factors what can affect. So there he mentioned that marriage developed because of the private property. We want someone to maintain that property. For that we want our own children, so that they will continuously hold the property. So for that we require. Next, they also mentioned the economic interpretation of the marriage. Remember the economic function of the marriage, there also you can mention him. Then there is class based society, Karl Marx. Karl Marx said that marriage reflect economic relationship and economic structure influence the family and the marriage pattern. See, why now people wanted to have dink? See, if there is any question now, why marriage form is changing, we are going to mention dink, double income and no kids. There we will mention that Karl Marx also said that marriage pattern, they are influenced from the economic structure, and now people they want economic structure strong, less responsibility, therefore dink type of syndrome they are emerging. So that's how you need to create your answer rich. See, every single person would write down people they wanted more freedom, these and that, but we want, if we want more marks, we have to be very specified. Next, Emily Durkheim, related to the religion. Here they also mentioned marriage promotes social solidarity. Why? Because it provide function like social integration, social regulation. Remember I told you 4 types of function, social function, mention name Emily Durkheim. Next, Mayor Fortis. See, quite possible I can admit you are also human being. This is too difficult to remember the 19 name. Too difficult, I can admit. What you need to do, no need to remember all, but wherever you are framing your short notes, in your short notes mention these names with a different color highlighter, with like this, something like this. Mention, like if I will mention the social function, I will mention your name. That's what it would be easier for you. Otherwise it would be difficult, but this is what I'm providing you. Now, Ivan Spritzer. Ivan Spritzer mentioned that marriage help maintain political and social organization. And he gave the book The Nur, where he mentioned bride wealth and lineage relation. For that we require, like the Nur marriages. What kind of Nur marriages we are having? In the Nur, we are having a different type of marriage, na? Ghost marriage. Remember? So there is, if the husband is dying, the wife, widow wife, she is going to take place of her husband, and now she will get married with a female. Now that female will be pregnant by any male member of the husband's family, and now the wife acting as a husband will give her name. So that's what we are having here. Next is Kathleen Goff. So I don't think I have to explain about Kathleen Goff. Next is the River, WHR River. So he said that marriage should be studied through the kinship system. So if there is any question that marriage alliances affected through the kinship, we can mention his name. Next is M.N. Srinivas. M.N. Srinivas said that there is a hierarchical structure and the westernization, Sanskritization affect that. Like for example, if I would ask you, your family would allow you to do the intercaste marriage and in the online. You are studying for UPSC. You are very much aware of the, like, you need to be open. Caste is nothing. There is no such thing like caste. We are the most open minded people, because those who are doing the IAS, they are open for everything. Yes. So that's what he was saying. Earlier we were having the Sanskritization, it will definitely affect. Means we won't allow someone out of our caste, out of our creed, out of our race. But westernization, the best example for westernization, you can see the Bollywood. In the Bollywood, you will find out these people, they are having serial monogamy, they are having adultery, they are having everything. Like the Amir Khan, he recently went to an event or something where his first wife, second wife, yes, yes, okay, and he was coming with the new girlfriend. So that's what you can see, the westernization and the effect of the westernization. Next is the Iravati Kave. So Iravati Kave marriage varies across the Indian kinship region. Like in the North India, there is a exogamy, there is a Gotra exogamy. South India, there is a cross cousin marriages. Fine. So it means, as per the Iravati Karve, we can understand that there is a regional pattern of marriage. This regional pattern of marriage may affect in the future as the people or the areas they are coming in between. Like now the South Indian people coming to the North India, North Indian people coming to the South India. Even there are marriages between Delhi and Kerala, Delhi and Tamil Nadu, like that. Next is Robin Fox, and the last one gave the book Kinship and Marriage, and there they mentioned marriage is a socially recognized union that regulate the reproduction as well as the kinship. This is what they are having. Fine. So this is the complete table I'm providing you, and this is what you need to do. Okay. Okay. I told you when we would be doing unit 6. As I told you, remember? I said now I'm providing unit wise, person wise. In the unit 6, I will provide person wise, unit wise. Means E.B. Taylor, culture, kinship, like. This is what he said, like that. Okay. Anji, having any doubt in the online or in the offline? Any doubt? Okay. So this is the basic definition of the marriage. Normal, simple intro. It's a unique social institution. Through the marriage, men and women, they are taking certain role, responsibility, obligation. So based upon that, if I have to specify, I will explain why marriage is important. See, marriage is not important for the reproduction. The most important aspect that we have to write down to express the longevity. If you have to conclude in the future, marriage like thing will disappear, you tend to say no, because the basic reason behind the marriage is not because it's bringing the security, it is providing you mates. No, people are doing marriage because it is considered as the epitome for the love, and people would require the love in the upcoming time period also, even if they are getting it for a short period of time, but still marriage would be there. Next, it is bringing the duties and responsibilities. One male is here to protect the female, and female is here to provide the services to the male. And it is a universal social institution, means if you are married, no one is going to question you having any sort of behavior with your husband. Fine. So that's why people are having marriage. So this is the biggest reason for the marriage. Okay. Now, if we have to explain, so this is the basic meaning of the marriage, which is saying that marriage is accepted bond. Means the male or the female, they won't feel shy, they won't hesitate to introduce their husband or their wife, but they will hesitate as per the society norms to like to describe about their any male friend or about their female friend. Although now people are getting very much open, but still these things will remain. See why these things will remain. अब चाहे कोई कितना बोल ले, हमारी majority of the population village से related है, and village roots, they are having their own mindset. So that's how for us this is going to be the basic definition for marriage. Now, if you have to explain the key point for the marriage, these are the key point. Whenever you are explaining introduction, either the meaning or you are expressing about marriage, these key points should be here. First, residential cohabitation. I am going to criticize or provide you exception while explaining the living apart. But here we are saying marriages when the people, they are living together. Marriages when they are having reciprocal right. Remember someone said about the property. So property right is granted in the marriage. That's why. Finances, child rearing. Next, sexual relationship, because it is providing legitimacy to the sexual relationship. Next, it is providing a long-term commitment. Either we can have, like we are having a serial monogamy, but marriage is something which provide the long-term commitment. Next, marriage is something which is having the economic cooperation. Economic cooperation means husband and wife, they are economically. Remember I told you economic cooperation? Yes. Are you done? Okay. Next. Now the question arises, if all these things they are here, then we can define that marriage is universal. But there are so many cases where the kind of things, like we don't find the permanent habitation, we don't find the economic function. So what are those contradictions? So it is basically being said that not only the female, see, when I'm saying reciprocal right, when I'm saying economic cooperation, so now definition is changing. It is saying only father is not responsible for the economic cooperation. If the female is also earning, then both the parents, they are responsible for the child maintenance, not just the father. It means what? As per the changing norms, marriage is not changing in its form. Marriage would be marriage only, and marriage would involve all the economic cooperation, everything. But this is what you have to understand, that both the parents, they are responsible for the maintenance. Now, next, that we are saying that it is involving the permanent habitation. So let us suppose if permanent habitation is not there, then what would happen? Like we are not going to call this union as marriage? No, we would be calling that union marriage even if they are living apart. Nowadays, due to the job, due to the other factors, like recently there was one TV celebrity. So she basically related to the TV serial or someone. So she basically interviewed, and she told to the interviewer that I am married, but in my home, my husband and we both are having separate rooms. Not because we don't like to spend time with each other, but because we want to have a privacy in our own sphere to work on our own personality. This is what she said. Even the Shah Rukh Khan also, he said that my wife is having separate room, and he even said that I used to ask permission from her when I need to enter, because this is her privacy, and I don't, being a husband, I cannot infringe that. This is what she said. That it means, what we can say, living apart, it doesn't mean that we are questioning upon the permanent habitation or or cohabitation, but we are saying that this could be the new form of marriage. Now, next thing that basically specified, we are saying, as per the definition, marriage means what? Where they are sexually, they are providing sexual gratification, which is implicitly understood and which is legitimized also. But that there is a limit. And we are not going to say that if the people are crossing limit, that's not marriage. That's marriage only. But we are not going to grant all the rights to the husband or to the wife to infringe that, like Supreme Court to decide on the marital rape law despite the center silence. So in this particular thing, what happened is Supreme Court said something about the marital rape. So they said that the marital rape is equally considered as a heinous crime. Why? Because the female is having complete right over her body as well as on her wish. Fine. Next, we are saying that marriage means what? Longest relationship. But if that is not here, we can also have shortest marriage. So there was one of the shortest marriage that lasted for only 4 hours. So that marriage, it was basically a girl from the Gujarat family, and she got married in the Mumbai, but she found that the things were not exactly as it should be. So therefore she basically that marriage, she filed for the divorce, and that marriage ends. So that this is what you can understand. Now, what we are going to find out is the definition to check the universality. So this is the definition of the Edward Westermark, and this is the book that he had given, History of Human Marriages, and there he specified this definition. Now, there is no if and but. You need to remember this definition, you need to study this definition. According to the definition, marriage is a relation of one or more men to one or more women, which is recognized by the custom or the law, and it involves certain rights and duties, both in case of parties entering into the union, in case of the children born to it. This is what they said. It means he was talking about some point, the points that we did from the previous part. Here we were basically saying that marriage means union between a man and a woman. Then we said that they are sharing some rights and duties. Then we are saying that they are going to give birth to the children. But there are some marriages when there is no such rituals. There are some marriages when the couples are not living together. There are some marriages when the spouses, they are allowed to have the adultery, the extramarital affairs. So these are the kind of things which exist. So from this point of view, we can say there are some exception to it, which is explaining that the couple who perform the court marriages without the ritual ceremony, they are the couple who do not live under the same roof. They are the couples who are having the extramarital relationship. They are also being considered married. The married definition is above this. Now, for example, this is not the actual marriage. I hope you would be aware of this. Happened in the Karnataka. Ghost marriage. So, in the Dakshin Kannada, matrimonial ad seeks groom for the ghost marriage. Means if the person, basically bride or groom, either they are in the age of marriage or they are about to marriage, but unfortunately if they die, then their parents, they are going to arrange the marriage. See, because I will be sharing a link in the channel that link would be of a YouTube video where the parents, they are arranging the marriage. So what happened is, in this ghost marriage, so they provided an advertisement where they mentioned that like for example, there are some paranormal things, so that's why family was very tensed. Someone told them that the possible solution would be to get your diseased son married. So what they did is, they basically put ad into the newspaper, and they were amazed. They find 30 year ago, they find multiple like here it was mentioned, they find multiple uh, proposals. So that's what it is specifying, that there are so many cases. Other than this is not only in India. Some may consider that अरे इंडिया में तो illiterate person है, तो वो सिर्फ इंडिया में होता होगा. No, there was something happened in the Indonesia also. There was something happened in the different area. Like, there was a grieving woman to hold ghost marriage with a late boyfriend after the tragic car accident. So what happened is, the boy died, but the girl, she got married with his belongings so that she can keep with him. Okay. What you are asking, Shubham, time surrogacy means what? Would you explain? Haji, next, can you see? This couple, they were going for their pre-wedding shoot or something, and they died in midway. Now the family arranged the marriage so that they can rest their peace. Sorry, so that they can rest their soul in the peace. Fine. So this is what they did. It means what? In the ghost marriage, there is no habitation, there is no child. मतलब छोटे भूत तो नहीं होंगे ना. So there is no such kind of rituals or something, but still we are calling it marriage. That's what we can say. It doesn't matter that all the things specified in the definition should be here in the actual form. Marriage means something which is open. So as a conclusion, you need to mention marriage is universal, but the definition of marriage is not universal. This is what you have to mention. Now, next, given by the GP Murdoch, so which is saying, according to the Murdoch, marriage is a universal institution that involves residential cohabitation. But in case of Nair, there is no residential cohabitation. There is economic cooperation, and there is formation of the nuclear family. There is no nuclear family. So I am expecting you already know what's there in the Nair. Anji, Shubham, you were having the doubt na? I'm not able to understand what you were saying. Okay, Seligman, he also provided a definition where he mentioned that children born to the women, they are recognized as legitimate offspring of both the parents. Yes, they are, but exception is there, the Nur of Africa. In the Nur of Africa, the husband is going to die, and the wife, she will take the place of the husband, and now the name of the husband is being given to the child, but that child is not of that husband and wife. That's what we are basically saying. Modern definition, William and Stephen. So that's what I'm providing here, you 4 definition. So these 4 definition, UPSC is not going to ask for universality or something. So there is no thing like you need to remember, but kindly remember the Murdoch definition and the Westermark definition. Fine. Okay. So here it is mentioned a socially legitimate sexual union begin with the public pronouncement, undertaken with the idea of permanence, assumed with more or less explicit marriage. Contract which spell out reciprocal economic obligation. So this is what we are saying. But in the Nair case, there is no reciprocal economic obligation. Fine. Now the question arises, why marriage evolved? What are the reasons for the existence? So now the question arises, what are the reasons for the existence of the marriage? So there are basically two types of reasons. One is the biological and one is the socioculture. Biological, why? Because there is going to be mate deficiency. Why mate deficiency? Because either their sexual fulfillment, they require mate, and if mate are not decided, then there is going to be what? Disruption. There is going to be what? Competition. There is going to be what? Animal instinct. So therefore, biologically, we require marriage. Second, for reproduction. With the help of the marriage, we are having the differences in terms of the child. Like now child know that these are the one who's responsible for taking care of me. Now for example, your parents, they are going to help you till the time you are independent. So you are not going to ask your neighbor, uncle or someone that give me my school fee. You are going to ask to your parents. Why? Because biologically there is a circle and you want that circle to be completed. That's why biologically marriage is important. Reason for the existence of marriage. Next, socioculture. In the socioculture format, we require some sort of protection. We require some sort of support. We want there should be a division of work between the husband and wife, between the mother and the father, in terms of a family. Okay. Next, there is a sexual competition, but we need to maintain that sexual competition. So socio-culturally, we want you to bind. Means there may be so many female in your family, but you cannot have the same feeling for the other. Just to maintain that culture, we want some sort of, you can understand, maryada for the relationship. So next, we want to maintain a social order. Just to maintain the continuity of the social order, we require the same. Fine? Okay. Now, there was Highland Erickson. So Highland Erickson, he said one thing. Women is a scarce resource. And because women is a scarce resource, therefore, we want marriage. So that we can maintain this. Why he said so? He said male can have millions and billions of child in his reproductive age. Why? Because at one point of time, male is producing millions of sperm cells. Even if some, like many of the sperm cells, they are dying, but still he can produce so many. But female, they are having limit. What is that limit? See, female, she is basically having the menstruation cycle started at the age of 12 to 14. First 2 years they are without ovulation, so she cannot give birth. So started giving birth from the 15 of age. Reproductive age will be till 45 to 46. So there are around 31 years of her reproductive age. If considering one child in 1 year, not in 1 year, but at one point of time, so 9 months will take in terms of a gestation time period. 1 month postpartum infertility. So we can take 10 months. So in 31 year, one child at one time, she can give birth to 37 children. So a woman, she can give birth to 37 children in her reproductive age, considering that she is having 9 months, 1 month postpartum infertility, then again 9 months, like that. But let me tell you, there is a Guinness Book World Record. The woman from Russia, she is registered as she had given birth to 69 children. 69 children, not at one point of time. Sometimes she gave birth to single child, sometime twice, sometime three triplets, or even she gave birth to 4 children also at one point of time. So she is basically having the record. Now see this couple, they are having having the objective to have 20 children. Currently they are having 16 children, you can see. So for these children, they are spending 72,000 per week. So that's what you can have. But there is some sort of like for a male there is no limit, for a female there is a limit. Fine. Okay. So this is what you can understand. So that's why marriage is also important. Now, another thing you need to understand, why marriage is unique to human being. Why marriage is unique to human being? Because it is leading to the regulation of sexual competition. It will regulate. Second, it will provide support for the mother as well as the newborn. Now let us suppose if there is no marriage, so for their reproduction, not for the reproduction, but for their sexual need, the woman is being used. Then the woman is about to give birth to the child, but there is no one to take care of the child as well as the mother as well as the newborn. So to have that responsibility, we want what? We want the marriage. So animal infant, they are often born well developed, but human infant, they are not. They need to be maintained, and for that maintenance, that's why marriage is unique to human being. That's why even see, we like I'm going to show you, even if there are marriages between the frog, when if there are marriages between the ghost, but the actual thing is marriage is unique for the human being. Fine. So this is what you need to understand. So another thing, we want a stable bond between a male and a female. That's why we require marriage. Fine. So that's how we are done with the part. Now there are different laws of marriage: endogamy, exogamy, heterogamy, hypergamy, hypogamy, and incest taboo. In endogamy, a member is required to marry within his group. Okay. There is a Levi's. He said that the rule that require a person to marry within a specific social group. For instance, he gave the example, Gonds marry within the Gond tribe. So where the society is stratified on a class line, so a member would marry within his own class. As we specifying the caste, so the person need to marry within the caste. Even Erickson, he mentioned all the human group, they are both endogamous as well as exogamous. Like for example, for Gotra, we are for Gotra we are for Gotra we are exogamy, and for caste we are endogamy. This is what we need to have. Next, exogamy. Exogamy means you need to marry outside the group, outside a specific social group. So here in terms of example, when a Gond, for instance, is not allowed to marry within his own clan, that's what we are saying for the exogamy. Now, Westermarck, he said, Barber did not prefer to marry a girl from his own village. And why outside the specific social group marriage is performed? See, in the London, there was two school, and they were situated on the either side of a road. One school was having a co-education, co-ed. Other was exclusively for the girls. They found that the boys from the co-ed, they often went near to the girls' school in search of love and romance. Even if the girls are there in there, means what? Means that people, they tend to develop familiar relationship or familiar feelings for the one with whom they are living. Like familiar feeling, like brother like feeling, father like feeling, but they want other person or other unknown person to develop that feeling of marriage. So that's why this experiment was done. It's a basically a type of a case study. And the next is heterogamy. So in the heterogamy, marriage takes place between the partner who differ from each other in terms of their age or in terms of their social status. Hypergamy, hypogamy. So this is what in terms of example I'm providing you. So there's a case study also available. This one person, he was having polygyny. So what's the reason behind that polygyny? Because in their area there was water scarcity. So if one female, so they have to travel to the far away area to bring the water. Now if the person is if the person, like the female, if she is basically going to take water, then who's going to admit the household things, who's going to take care of the child? So that's why he basically going to have multiple wives. So one will only bring the water, one will take care of the child, one will do the household work. So that's what this thing is here, only because of the water scarcity. Now, next question that basically arises is, see, I'm not going to explain that Lavi rate, Soro rate. Any of you, if you are not aware of the cross cousin marriage or the parallel cousin marriage, then let me know. I will share voice notes separately. Okay, I will share voice notes separately if you are not able to understand or if that topic is not revised. Here I'm talking about that new emerging part. So in the new emerging part, they are saying that Indian Supreme Court declined to legalize the same-sex marriage. What do we mean by the same-sex marriage? It means what? It means that the thing is that husband and wife. So husband should be the male, wife should be the female. Husband should be the male, wife should be the female. Now, in the same-sex marriage, either that's a female-female or either that's a male-male marriage. And try to understand. Here, I am not including those syndrome, super female syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome. I am not including those. Okay, fine. So this is what we are having related to this part. Same-sex marriage, it review petitions, decision delays as a Supreme Court judge. It means what? We are not giving any legality to the same-sex marriage. We are saying it is not illegal, but we are also saying it is not legal also. Means if the same-sex marriage, like the female-female marriage, and if they want their marriage to be registered, we are not going to allow. Okay. China's same-sex couple, they can legally register marriage in Taiwan. It means not all the countries they are having the same phenomena. They are saying that the same sex couple they can legally register in Taiwan. So that's what they are saying, that now maybe in future in India these things can bring change. Okay, why I'm providing you the example of China? Because when you would be writing new emerging, why it is changing in terms of form. So other countries live in relationship arises that traveled into India. Now other country they are allowing the same sex marriages that will travel into. Now next question arises, what is the legal position on the live-in relationship? So the live-in relationship, there is no such legal position being granted. There is no such rules and regulation for the maintenance. But there is one thing Supreme Court said, High Court also said about the child. So they basically said that the child took birth out of that live-in relationship, officially being given the name of the father and mother about from those live-in partners, and they are basically being responsible to give part in the ancestral property. So if there is any ancestral property of the father, the child is about to have right in the same. So this is what we are basically explaining. Now another thing you can understand, there was Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code. Child born out of a living relationship will be legitimized, will be legitimate. So that's what we are providing. Okay. Now the last topic that we were having, the new emerging institutions. So write down the new emerging institutions. Okay. In the new emerging institutions, write down cohabitation. See, what is this cohabitation? It's a type of living relationship, but living in a relationship is slightly having longer duration than the cohabitation. Cohabitation is which is, you can understand, based upon the convenience of the male and the female. In today's time period, the premarital sexual relationship they are accepted, and this is what we can see in terms of a result, cohabitation. Next, one person household. See, I put that picture, I don't know that picture or that slide got missed. The picture I basically took is from the Gujarat. There was instances of sologamy. One girl from the Gujarat, I can have that. So one girl from the Gujarat, she basically got married herself. तो खुद ही, हाँ, खुद ही ब्राइड की तरह तैयार हुई, खुद ही सिंदूर डाल लिया, and then some days, like some month back, she divorced with herself after 1 year of marriage. So that is what, it's not same sex marriage, it was sologamy, getting married with herself. Next is living apart together. Okay, so that living apart together, it was not an Indian thing, but it's common in the London, common in the Europe. So they are, out of every 10 marriage, one couple they are living apart. Next, write down dink. Dink. Double income, no kids. It's a kind of thing that was here from the year 2000, but this thing, it got more recognition after the COVID in the recent time period. Now at time, see why people are going towards the ding. People are living in a nuclear family, and wife is also earning, is also going out, male is also going out. So now the female, they want the husband to share the responsibility, and husband who are reluctant to do the same. So preferably now they don't want kids, so that they can have their own life. Here you can give the example of Nikhil Kamath also. Hanji. Next, one more topic, write down 8 types of Hindu marriages. 8 types of Hindu marriages. Okay, create in terms of a table. So one side write down the name and one side about. So create it in terms of a table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so first write down Brahma marriage. Brahma marriage. Write down highest, and kindly write down fast. Highest and most ideal form of marriage. Highest and most ideal form of marriage. Next, write down within this part only, Brahma marriage. Next point. Father gives his daughter to a worthy man. Means father is going to find out the ideal person, and then they are going to get married. Next, Deva marriage. D-A-I-V-A. D-A-I-V-A. Deva marriage. So here, in return of priest services, in return of priest services, daughter is given. Okay. Next is Arsha marriage. A-R-S-H-A. Here, the basically bridegrooms, they give a cow. Write down a cow and a bull, means a pair. Cow and a bull is given to bride's father. Is given to bride's father as a token of gratitude. As a token of gratitude. Next, write down Prajapatya marriage. Father gives daughter. Fathers give daughter to fulfill duty and companionship. Duty and companionship. Okay, these types of marriages, they are the approved types of marriages. Now we are going to write down the other unapproved types of marriages. Fifth one, Asura marriage. Grooms pays money to the bride's family. See, earlier also grooms paid the cow and bull na a pair, but that was out of a gratitude. Now here it is in terms of exchange. Next, Gandharva marriage. Write down kind of love marriage. No permission of parents. Next, write down Rakshasa marriage. Bride is forcibly abducted. And the last one, Pisacha marriage. Paishacha, Pisacha marriage. Women is intoxicated and 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 forced for sexual relationship. That is the most lowest kind of marriage. Why we are naming it marriage? Because there is a thing that is being said that if something happened with the female, no one is going to get married with her. So it is specified that the one who did the wrong with her would be her husband, even if the person is not accepting, but society consider it like that, that now he's your husband, even if that male did wrong. That's why it is called as the Pisacha marriage. Fine. So these are the 8 types of the marriage. 4 are the approved one and 4 are the disapproved one. And with the note, we are basically done with this part. Now, if you are short of any material, if you are not having anything, just text me. Okay, I will be I will be providing you the same. Now, starting with the unit 2.4, I already provided you the overview about the PYQ analysis. Now let's start with the unit 2.4. And first we are basically going to prepare the index for the same. So unit 2.4 is related to the family. So going to divide the 5 parts. And the first part we are going to do is the definition of the family. So write down definition of family. So the basic thing is first we are going to write down the introduction. And in the online, any doubt? And in the offline, any doubt? No? So in the definition of like the first part we are going to do is the introduction. Then the meaning. Then the definition. So we are going to have multiple definition, but among these definition we are going to do the one which is given by the GP Murdoch. So after that we are going to check upon the universality of the family. So why is it, like, is it universal or not? What is the criticism of the nuclear family? What is the criticism of the economic role? Why it is happening? So going to write down the universality. So for the universality, we at least need to check it on foreground, like family having the economic role, family having the social role, family having the political role. So therefore going to check it for the 4 points. And next going to write down next is about the household, family and the domestic group. So write down the household or the domestic group. First we are going to explain the basic introduction. In the introduction we are going to mention the name of the JP Murdoch again, and then we'll start explaining about the household. So the first part is going to be explanation about household. In the household, first we'll write down the basic introduction. Then we'll explain about the meaning of the household. Then the definition. So in the definition, we are going to write down the definition given by the Bohan. So there are two definitions available. We would be mentioning about the Bohan. If you are having, well and good. If you are not having, then let me know, we'll provide. Then mention about the features of the household. What are the basic feature of the household? What are the key features about them? Now we already explained about the family. So therefore now we'll be explaining the relationship between family and household. So for relationship, first we'll write about their similarities and then differences. and at last we'll be explaining the conclusion. This is the kind of dimension we have to cover. Next is the domestic group. For the domestic group, again there is going to be the explanation. So the introduction, the meaning and the definition. So we'll be explaining the definition given by the Mayor Fort. Then we have to explain about the stages of the domestic group. So there are basically 3 stages of the domestic group. And then at last we have to explain the relationship between the domestic group and the household. And at last the conclusion. Next is about the functions. Function. So what kind of functions we are going to mention? So we have to explain at least like we need to explain the functions into 3 part basically: biological, socio-cultural, and then combinedly bio-socio category. Biological, cultural and biosocial category. Fine. So in and around we have to do 10 to 15 points. We should be having 10 to 15 points. If you are not having, then tell me, I will provide, but this is what in terms of a short note you have to prepare. Okay, fine. Next is the types of family. So again, first we need to have the introduction. And then we have to explain about the classification. So we are going to explain the classification based upon the 6 indicators. 6 indicators should be here. What are those indicators? First, based upon the marriage practices, what kind of family we can have. So first is based upon marriage practices. Based upon the marriage practices, like for example, if you are having a monogamy marriage practice, then monogamous family. If you are having polygamy marriage practices, then polygamous family. If you are having polyandry, then polyandrous family. So this is what you have to explain. Next is based upon the rule of residence. And based upon the marriage practices, we are having 5 types of family: endogamous family, exogamous family, polyandrous family, polygynous family, monogamy family. Okay? Okay. Then, based upon the rule of residence, we are having 7 types of family. Based upon the rule of residence, 7 types of family. What are those? You have to write matrilocal, living at the mother place; patrilocal, living at the father's place; bilocal, means you change their residence alternatively. Then uri local. So uri local means man change residence, not necessarily to the wife matrilineal place, but near to the wife matrilineal relatives. Like for example, living near to the their family, having a separate home, but living fine. So that is ux ori local. Okay, opposite to this Euroxy local, there is Viri local. So Viri local means what? Husband and wife, they are going to live separately. The husband, like wife is going to live near to the husband place, but they are going to live separately. Next, neo local, they are not going to live near to the like a bride family or near to the groom family. They are going to live separately at a new place. Next is avunculocal. Avunculocal, you know already. Avunculocal means they are they are living at the bride's mother's brother. Fine. So that's how these are the 7 types. Next, on the basis of the descent or ancestry. So based upon the descent and ancestry, there are 2: patrilineal, matrilineal. See, in this form, in this heading format only, you need to write down if there is any question in terms of the answer. Fine. Next, based upon the blood relation. So based upon the blood relation, there are 2 type of the marriages: conjugal and consanguineous. So again, 2 types. Next is based upon the authority, like it's a patriarchal or it's a matriarchal or it's a egalitarian family. So based upon the basis of authority. So there are 3 types. Next, basis based upon the size, structure and composition. Size, structure and composition. So that's basically 3. One is the nuclear family, one is the extended nuclear family, one is the joint family, and maybe extended joint family, but there is no point exist extended joint family. So there are basically 3 types. Then, okay, Now, next part is impact. So, impact, there first we have to explain the phenomena, then we have to explain about it. So, first we'll be explaining about the introduction, then urbanization. What do we mean by the word urbanization? We are going to write down that. Then we are going to find out the impact of the urbanization on the family. On the family system. So for that, we are going to write down the subpoints like the impact based upon the demography. Like based upon the demography, urbanization, they will change. Like urbanization, it causes fertility. Okay, you just tell me, urbanization will cause fertility to decline or to increase. Why? Means, very good. Means, first, the kind of impact related to the urbanization, it will change the family structure. Earlier people, they wanted to have 3, 4, 5 child. Now they just wanted to have one single child. So change the structure. Change the structure. Next, it will impact on the role. Earlier, what kind of role husband was playing, what kind of role the wife was playing, it will change. Now you would find out so many husband, they are living at home doing the household thing, wife is going out and earning. So impact on role. Okay, now here we are going to add upon a very important thing, and we'll try to find out the answer for the same. And the question is, does urbanization lead to the nuclearization of the family? And you, what kind of views you are having? So the question is, does urbanization lead to nuclearization of family? Anji, I'm asking you, does urbanization lead to nuclearization of the family? Can you be very like specific? See, Emily Durkheim said the same. Emily Durkheim said that urbanization means the smaller family size. Why? Because this is the need. And when there is a smaller family size, it means there would be a decline in the joint family system. If there is a decline in the joint family system, there is a rise in the nuclear family. And later on, I will provide you. I will provide you the details. Fine. And then they are going to say that it will lead to the Western model system. So it will increase the Western model system. So this is the basic plan. Fine. Okay. Now, next point that we are having is the industrialization. So industrialization, where first we will be explaining about the basic introduction, then we are going to write down the impact on the family. So it is basically putting around 10 to 11 impact. Okay, like industrialization, it made household work easier. When I'm saying industrialization, think technologically. So it's making. Okay, yeah. Next, because of this, women enter the workforce. Think like that. First, they have to wash the clothes with their hands. Now, they are able to save their time. Even if it's taking so much of the time, but still, they are able to manage it. Okay. Now, it led to the psychological impact. Now, generational gap, it widened. How? Because there is a difference in the thinking. Just tell me, do you understand the Gen Z things? We are not. We are millennials, so we cannot understand the Gen Z wala thing. Why? Because Gen Zs now they think differently comparative to us. We are not old, but still, Gen Z they are having a separate thing. Okay, how many of you are using the Snapchat? Using the Snapchat? No. Okay. Do you know the kind of usage mechanism of Snapchat? I mean, do you really think that is it any significance of doing the thing? I mean, let us suppose Instagram, YouTube, something you are posting randomly. If you are going somewhere, you are not having the psychological burden. Okay. Are Shubham, you are using. It means you are a Gen Z. Okay. So, like, because of this, due to the industrialization, there is a stress. So then there is a psychological changes. See, in the earlier time period, wife was not so much responsible towards the husband, responsible towards the child or the other family member. In today's time period, husband they need wife to share the things or to share the stress. In the same way, women also they need. So in today's time period, the people they are having more dependence in terms of a family. Next is there are changes in terms of a daily life, health. So all these things they are basically here. Fine. So that's what we are now going to write down, and then we'll be writing down the conclusion. Next point is feminist. So feminism. First we are going to explain two types of feminism. First we are going to explain two types of feminism. One is liberal, one is radical. See, liberal feminism is good. It's asking for the right. Radical feminism is something which is either taking advantage or positioning the wrong, like portraying them wrong, positioning them wrong. Like for example, if the female they are saying that why it is bad to go to the pub area, club area at night, why it is bad to drink, why it is bad to smoke. See, these things they are bad. We are not specifying based upon the gender, but women is someone specified as which includes stability, and these things they are unstable. That's why specifically for female. So I'm not here justifying, but what I'm saying is specifically for female. So radical feminism it brings instability, but liberal feminism is something which you required. So for sure feminist movement they are going to put. So they are going to put the positive impact and the negative impact. This is what they are going to provide here, the positive impact and the negative impact. Fine. Okay. Next, something that we are adding upon from our side, role of education. Education on the family. See, if you are more educated, you would like to have joint family system or a nuclear family system. See, at least 16% of children living in a single parent family. 16%. And I'm talking about the total world. See, the family, it is like, for example, it is being said that the divorce rate is high when the family members, they are affecting the structure of the marriages. Like, for example, the other family members, they are impacting them. Other family members, they are interfering in between. That's what lead to the conflict. So therefore, people getting more education, they want peace, and that's why they preferably wanted to have the nuclear family system. In today's time period, it depends. Fine. So this is what we need to cover up under the unit 2.4. Now, moving forward to the next part, as I told you, GP Murdoch is the most important person related to the definition of family. So he gave the book Social Structure. Remember the book we also did in the marriage wala part. So there he mentioned about the basic function for the marriage. Here he mentioned about the society. He said, sorry, for the family, sexual, reproduction, economic, educational. So when you have to explain about the function, you can explain JP Murdoch. Next, B. Malinowski. Here he mentioned family exists because it fulfills basic human need, reproduction, children, socialization. So this is what he basically provided. Same, you can just frame it for the family. Same was the marriage. Radcliffe Brown said that family contribution to the social structure and it creates the kinship relationship. It links the individual to the society. Like, for example, you are not very much open, but people know you because of your family. They recognize you because of your family. So your kinship system is important. Next, Claude Lévi-Strauss gave the elementary structure of kinship. Here he mentioned family originate from the marriage alliance. Exchange of the women create a social bond. L.H. Morgan in his book Ancient Society explained about the 5 types of the family. That's also being explained under the unit 6. Frederick Engel, same, property. Here we mention about the marriage. Why marriage? Because they wanted to have private property. Family protect the inheritance right. इतने सब झगड़े क्यों होते हैं? Because family is protecting the inheritance right. So this is what you can. Next, Karl Marx. Same thing happened there. That's why these two units, they are combined together. Family reflect the economic relationship. Economic system shape the family structure, and family reproduces the class inequalities. Next is Emily Durkheim. They said family promote the social solidarity. Marriage and family, they are similar. Talcott Parson gave the book new name. Gave the book Family Socialization and Interaction Process, in which mention about primary socialization, stabilization of adult personalities. In the primary socialization, explain teaching children societal norms and providing the emotional support. This is what we have to do. Next, Mayor Fort. Remember his name? Function also he explained family and kinship, they are inseparable. So when we have to explain descent, The type of family based upon the descent. We can mention his name. Adding upon more anthropologist's name, adding value to your notes. Ivan Spritzer, the nude. He said family is linked with the lineage and political organization. Because based upon the family only, they are having political organization. Next, mention about the Kathleen Goff. He mentioned family varies greatly across the culture. Next, Iravati Kave, kinship organization in India. He mentioned Indian family pattern, they differ regionally. Same similar, Iravati Karve explained for the marriage system. Based upon the marriage, will frame the if there is a monogamous family, like that. I mean Srinivas mentioned family changes through the social mobility. Robin Fox mentioned the kinship and marriage, where he said that family is the basic unit of kinship organization. Remember the WHR river? Same. There is going to be same things related to the marriage as well as the family. Fine. So in this part there is no such family related current affair. The reason because these are going to be news only, and I don't want to give you the news that household news, this happened, this these and that. So here I will be providing you the data. The data I will separately share in your channel, either in the WhatsApp group or like government said that they are going to restore the telegram by 22nd June. Just wait for today itself. Okay, and I will be explaining you. Okay, your answer for the domestic group, fine. So if you are having any doubt related to the domestic group, about the family, anything, just text me, I will be explaining. Fine. So that's what we are done with this unit, unit 2.3 and 2.4. Having any doubt from something? Yes. Yes. For each and every part we have to write the criticism. Let me tell you how to do that. See, like for example, we are saying based upon the function, like marriage is doing what? Marriage is doing some social function, reproduction, and all. So there we are criticizing like marriage is not always doing the function, like in a women marriage, the nude. So their family is not framed as it should be, like reproductive function of the family is not performed by that union. They require someone else. Exceptions you can say, or criticism. This is what we have to write. And in the online, any doubt? Okay. Now I'm going to provide you question. Then you have to explain, or then you have to tell me the approach to handle the same. These are the practice questions. And you have to write now what you are going to write down in the introduction, in the body, as well as in the conclusion. जी. What would be better to write in the introduction? How we can start? I told you सारा material दिया है आपको. You have to read this question and tell me. Just give me the blueprint. You are having notes also in front of you. Just give me the blueprint given by. Very good. Hmm? Okay, okay. It would be better if you are mentioning a diagram showing the marriage leads to the family, and family, if following this function, will maintain the social solidarity. I mean, something that you have to do. See, marriage form the family. Here you need to write down cases to form family. Now, family performing multiple function, and these function combinedly maintaining social solidarity. Can we frame like this? This is the kind of art you need to develop. Means there is a rule. Every question, one diagram. Now, what you need to do, all the questions that I am providing you, practice question, try framing the diagram. For these questions, try framing the diagram. That's a kind of homework. And share with me for the correction. Along with the short notes, prepare. See, this is very simple. And this is very self-explanatory. You don't need to write down any line for the same. And the rule is this: you have to fine. So this is what you have to do. I have been rolling this. Yes, yes, Abhinash. So there is number available in the description. Open the description. Can you find out the first number? Just text there. Open the description. In the query part, there is number given. Text as the first number. Fine. Okay. After that, you just need to write down the points. Heading, you are like, this should be part of body, not after the introduction. Body should be taken from the question ka language, and in the conclusion you are going to explain about the conclusion. Fine. Okay. Now one more question, then I'm going to end the class. Open ended question, 10 marker. Anji, tell me what you are going to write down for this question in the intro. See, you can use the meaning also. You can write down the examples also. Like here, you can write down the example of a tribe where it's their marriage regulation that they are involved in the alliance. Here, it would be much better if you are starting with the example, because in this question, I want you to create a relationship, regulation with the alliance. Marriage regulation. Yes, you can give a small diagram. How regulation are adding in the alliance. Okay, see what you need to do. It would be better you are starting with the example. Mention about the Gond tribe. I gave you the example. Mention about the Khasi tribe. They are also involved in the alliance system. See, mention about them that they are basically involved in the kinship, like they are involved in the alliances, and alliances, they are framed as per their marriage regulation. Their marriage regulation is to have exogamy, and for exogamy they are dependent upon the other section. Like remember in the Garo tribe, even in the Garo tribe there are two types of system. That's a homework. That's a homework. You need to remember. There is moiety, the name, but there are two moiety. You just give me the name of those two in the Garo tribe. Okay? Remember the Chachi. Okay, you will. Okay, I'm not going to give hint. Fine. So take the example from the Garo tribe. Why? Because for them their alliance is based upon their marriage regulation. Then explain the marriage regulation, simple meaning, and after that give the diagram. Because you cannot write all the marriage regulation, it would be better to give a small diagram. And then mention how marriage regulation lead to the alliances. Fine. So you are done. Very good. Levi-Strauss theory that could also help here. Introduction. But if in every question you are giving the anthropologist name, it is going to be monotonous. So it would be better starting with the example. Fine. So I hope this class is fruitful for you. Provide me the feedback in the comment section. Do you like the way that I am basically providing you the practical way? So if you are having any sort of feedback, provide me in the comment section. So this is done for today's class. Tomorrow there is going to be a revision plan for you, and day after tomorrow we are going to have class 2.5 and 3, unit 3. Okay, fine. So if you are having any doubt, anything, I am open for these 2 days. For these 2 days you are going to send me all the doubts, and I will try to provide you the feedback on the real time basis. Fine. So thank you so much.